Welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. This week's show is jam-packed with fishing action. We're going to start off with European-style carp fishing. That's definitely a unique story with lots of fun. Then we're going to head over to Saginaw Bay to get into the walleye. We head over there with one of our club members and the laughs just don't stop. After that, we've got some bass fishing from Lake St. Clair. Stay tuned, we've got a fun fishing show on the way. I'm Kelly Gotch. It's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, the dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes, here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors. Someday our children all will see.
Ford Lake was cloaked in fog as I met up with a group of guys to learn more about carp fishing. That's right, carp fishing. Kevin Abbott had invited me along to get a taste of the European style of fishing. He's been fishing for these big fish for many years and has perfected his technique.
I probably started carp fishing back in England when I was 12. I'm 37 now, so I've been doing it for a few years. I got full-time into carp fishing when I was 15, and that's when I don't fish for nothing else but carp, because there's nothing else like carp. Carp are probably one of the hardest freshwater fish you can catch, especially in the state of Michigan. You got your steelheads, yeah, that'll put up a fight, but everywhere, carp are everywhere. Anybody can go out and catch carp.
The first thing you'll notice is the setups. Fishing exclusively from shore, you have to make the most of your fishing area, or swim as these guys call it. Specialized gear helps get the bait exactly where it needs to be, and when a fish hits, the right gear is crucial to effectively fighting and landing a hard-fighting carp.
Well, let's start with the rods. These are from Europe, these are 12-foot rods. They're heavy-duty rods because we're casting 2.5 to 4 to 5 ounce leads sometimes. So you want something that's going to cast there. And sometimes we're casting 125 yards, doing long distance. So we double them up with I'm using big pit Shimano reels. These are out of Malaysia. I don't actually think you can buy these in the US. They're a special order item. Once again, that gives me the capability of casting long distances. So actually I'm using 45-pound Power Pro on here. Probably heard the alarm. This is your alarm. Basically we got on the reel, it's in a free spool mode, so the carp aren't gonna drag my rod into the water, and as it pulls line, it's gonna set the alarm off. So I don't need to stand there and look at my rods. Also, we got the bobbin here. Sometimes the fish will come swim towards us, and as it does, this is going to drop down, setting the alarm off again. Now the whole setup is on a rod pod. This just enables me to fish pretty much wherever I want. I don't need to stick a stick in the grass, in the ground. I can fish on concrete. It's rock solid. It's not going to blow away or anything, so.
Once the baits were set, it was only a matter of time before... This is a typical take. Using what's called a hair rig, the carp picks up the bait. Once the carp feels the hook, it tries to spit it out and the hook catches in the fish's lip. This is a great rig to use because the fish will rarely swallow the hook.
He's a good fish, I think. It's hard to tell until it's staying deep, so it's showing all the signs of being a good fish. It's such a fight. This is really what it's all about.
Although carp are seen in many circles as a nuisance fish, these guys see them differently. The fishery here in Michigan is staggering. Almost every lake, stream, and river has carp, so fishing opportunities are almost endless. But even so, these guys do everything they can to ensure that the fish are handled carefully and returned to the water without injury.
Yeah, carp care is probably one of the utmost things for us. We do look after the fish. Like I said, we're catch and release, so we want to put the fish back in the same condition as basically we caught it. So, we can catch it again and other people can enjoy that same fish. So we use the mats and the soft mesh landed nets. So basically we just don't want to damage the fish in any way whatsoever. We put it back in the same condition it came to us.
Fishing from shore is a different ball game altogether. Where a typical boat angler moves to where the fish want to be, carp anglers need to entice the fish to come where they can cast to. So the intended fish area or swim must be baited. All sorts of concoctions are made to get fish feeding, but if spread over a large area, chances are much lower that the fish will pick up the bait that the hook is in. So bait has to be concentrated into exactly the place where the baited hook will be cast. For this, Alex uses what's called a spod rocket.
Okay, this is what we call in England a spod rocket, okay, and it's for casting a bit of bait out, particles or corn, and what we do is we try to attract the carp to our swim. We cast this out several times and we get a big bit of bait on, which is made up of the maize, deer corn or peanuts. What we do is we, in the spod, fill it up. And on the reel, the line is clipped up to the distance that I want to cast the spod to. Okay. That spod turns up on its end and deposits the corn and the peanuts to the position I'd like the fish to come.
Well, if you look at Europe, we're fishing fisheries which are stocked with carp. And a typical lake of, say, this size in England, there probably be a few hundred carp, where over here, this lake, a few thousand carp. And it's a big difference. It's so much easier to fish over here for carp. It's just everybody has a great time. Just catch and release. And, you know, sometimes you catch the same fish over and over again, and it becomes your friend, basically. You see the same guy, you know, every year or every couple of years, you recognize that fish.
With zebra mussels in Ford Lake, it's important to keep your rod high or else the fish will pull the line over the drop-off and it will cut the line. With 12-foot rods, this is much easier. The fish was brought to the net and then taken up to the release mat so it could be unhooked and then put into a bag to be weighed. Now you may be wondering, how do you get fish to come over and eat your bait? Well, Kevin uses what's called method mix that will lure in the fish, and as the method breaks down, all that's left is this bait, which hopefully the fish will pick up.
Okay, so this is your method. Basically, there's a combination of corn, there's chicken feed, there's a few oats and stuff in here. It's basically just going to break down, attract the fish, bring the fish in. And what we do, this is the method feeder. And you want to try to pack the method, the chum, into all the little holes. Really squeeze it in there. Like I said, this is going to break down, attract the fish, really get them feeding, and hopefully onto your hook bait, which is close. A lot of people would tuck this inside of there. In fact, I might do this on this one. So when that breaks down, my bait is going to be right there. The idea now is to try to get it out there without this falling apart, because you can't give it a good lob. You gotta just cast it nice and gently and try to keep this on the method feeder.
Kevin enjoys carp fishing so much that he decided to start a website devoted to Michigan carp fishing. MichiganCarp.com is the result, and fishermen have found it to be a wealth of carp fishing knowledge.
It started out as just a showcase myself and my friends' catches. After the first month, probably 150 emails, it grew and grew and grew, and now it's, I don't know how many pages we got. But it's full of information. If you want to catch carp, everything you need to know is on there. We got our own forum. We got some very talented guys who fish for carp pretty much all the time. And we're always here to help some new guy out who's new to carp fishing. We will go out of our way to get you into some fish. Fine looking fish.
If this looks like fun to you, the guys at MichiganCarp.com have outings at various times during the year. Anyone can show up and learn all there is to know about fishing the Golden Ghost.
Can't beat that. Cracking fish.
Give carp fishing a try. The sound of a screaming reel might just get you hooked.